Wonderful day 10 of Chargers training camp practice. We're going to be breaking down all the news and notes, everything that you need to know. Chargers Now is presented by Prize Picks. I am your host, Will Ortner. And this, of course, is why you subscribe to the channel. While everyone else is having a Sunday off, they're resting, they're relaxing. We're making sure that we get that content out to you. Really want to touch on 4 different pieces of information from camp. There's going to be some good news stuff as well as some bad news stuff or some stuff that I at least find interesting. I'm very excited for the Chargers' first preseason game, which will end up being on Thursday. So what is that, 5 days away now, essentially? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I guess if you're counting today, it's 5 days away. Really excited to see what this team looks like. Sounds like some starters are obviously not going to participate in a very limited fashion. That's pretty normal when it comes to training camp and preseason nowadays. Gone are the days where, basically that third preseason game is where everyone plays as a starter 3 to 4 quarters, trying to see what everyone's ready to do when you get ready for that first regular season game, because game 4, you don't do anything. Obviously, no preseason game 4 now. It's just a different game. It's changed what I've loved. Let's talk about the left guard battle right now. You had 3 different people rotating in: Branson Taylor, Kayode Awosika, and Jake Slaughter today. So that bumps it up now. You've basically had all 5 of those individuals who've been rotating in at that left guard position now at least get one padded practice where they have had an opportunity to be with the one group. I like that you're starting to see Jake Slaughter really emerge, not necessarily as the favorite, but someone that's in the fight now. I feel like when you look at Slaughter early on, he's like a UFC fighter or boxing fighter who through the first 2 or 3 rounds, you're just like, man, they're getting pummeled. Or man, he got one hook in, but everything else, it's just going the way of the other fighter. And finally in this round 4 or 5, whatever you want to call it, he gets in a couple of really good shots as well. And it's like, okay, Jake Slaughter won a round. And I'm not saying that he's going to win this position. In fact, I kind of think that it's either Awosika or Taylor's job to lose at this point. It does feel like maybe you found the 3 guys that you potentially are going to continue riding with the rest of the way. Trey Pipkins, I still think that you're going to need him more as a tackle. I understand where Harbaugh's coming from, saying, well, he's one of our 5 best offensive linemen. That doesn't mean that he's your best option at left guard. Just because you're one of the 5 best linemen doesn't mean that you are the best left guard then, right? It's not a plug and play. Well, here are our best 5 offensive linemen. That's just not simply how it works. So whoever ends up getting that left guard position, I do think in my bold predicting way right now on a Sunday that I am going to say that it's either going to be Taylor, Awosika, or Slaughter. And that does excite me. It excites me that the young kid is getting in. He's looking strong, opened up a big hole that Amari and Hampton ended up scooting through for a big run, or maybe it was Keaton Mitchell. Doesn't matter, because it was a big run play, and it was behind Jake Slaughter in a scheme that should ideally be fit for him. It's good to see him growing. Now the question is do you treat Slaughter like you would a rookie quarterback, right? Remember when Justin Herbert first got to Los Angeles, they did not start him right away. They started the veteran guy, and then they brought him in. And a lot of teams are doing that. You're going to see the Raiders do it this year with Fernando Mendoza, where, hey, you are not going to be the starter week 1. And the idea is that eventually at some point you're going to be able to bring him in. And the response is going to be, well, we have to let him finish the rest of the year. I'll be interested to see if that's how the Chargers handle Slaughter, since he hasn't absolutely ran away with the position. I think that's a good idea from Harbaugh and McDaniel and that staff. Who do you think is going to win that Chargers left guard position? Let us know down below in the comment section. There's 5 guys, so I don't want to list all 5 names, but any of those 5 guys, who do you think's got a shot at getting it? I think that it's Taylor Awosika's job to lose, but I do know that crazier things have happened. We have so much more to discuss on today's show. But first, I need to let you know that today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. With the football season right around the corner, there's no better time to cash in with our friends at Prize Picks. And I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. For player picks, just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. That's it. Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. One thing I love is the new social feeds feature where you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. You can actually follow me on the app at BigWill7774 to see all of my lineups. I have a lineup for the football action going on later on this year. Justin Herbert, more on his pass yards. Quentin Johnston, more on his receiving TDs. Rashid Shaheed, more on his receiving yards. New user offer. Best of all, play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's right. Prize Picks just switched up their offers, so there's no better time to join. Lock in and win that first lineup. That's code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 plus lineup. Shout out. All right, let's get into that second story. No Rashawn Slater again today. This is a situation for me that I would say let him just get healthy. Obviously, he kind of had that little tweak back in San Diego. He was back out on the field with the team. He's missed the last 2 practices, though. That is something important and interesting to note. In my honest thoughts here, maybe you disagree with me as a Chargers fan. That's fine. You can have a completely different opinion than I do. I think that you just let the guy take his time. In fact, I'm cool. Don't participate him in a preseason game. Let that dude heal. Let his body get right. The injury that he suffered is an absolutely brutal one. It is a very painful one. Luckily, I've never had to endure that type of injury. I have seen others when I played in my college football days, played at Central Washington University. Those of you who know about Azusa Pacific University, we used to come down to LA and absolutely take it to those boys. So maybe you remember me from those days. But what I'll say is this, you need Rashawn Slater. You need Rashawn Slater on Sundays. You need Rashawn Slater for 17 games during the regular season. And in an ideal world, you'll need him for 3 to 4 games in the postseason. You need him to find a way to play in at maximum 21 games. That's what you need. You got to find a way for him to be out on the field for 21 games, I don't need him out on the field for preseason. I don't need him out on the field for these practices. Ideal world, yeah, he's 100% and he's able to practice. That's not where he's at right now. So how do you find a way to get him up, ready to go by that first weekend of September or second weekend of September, whatever it is? Have him ready to go by that game against the Cardinals. That's all that should matter. I don't know that there should be a great level of concern with him out. I do think that there should be maybe a little bit of worry. Maybe that's the right way to phrase it, or maybe a cautious optimism around it. It's just when you have a guy who's been hurt through a decent chunk of his career, or at least coming off a big injury the way that he is, I think it's smart to just let him rest. Let Rashawn Slater be Rashawn Slater. He'll be back at some point, but let him rest. It'll be okay. Let's talk about Tre Harris next, because the fantastic second-year wide receiver, or I believe soon to be fantastic second-year wide receiver, Tre Harris, I'm excited to see what this kid can do. Everything that you're hearing right now out of camp is very, very positive around him. He's done a lot of good things. He's not afraid to add into the blocking scheme, which is going to get him more opportunities to tote the rock, in my opinion, or get the ball thrown his way. I think that Mike McDaniel is going to be able to get the most out of him. And I think that last year you saw his rookie year, I don't want to say that the growth was stunted, but he wasn't where he necessarily needed to be because of Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen isn't there anymore. And since Keenan Allen's not there, I think this is a great opportunity for him to show just what type of player he is, right? Quentin Johnston had a couple of drops today and the day before, which isn't ideal, but this is a perfect opportunity for Tre Harris to kind of throw himself into the ring. Like, hey, man, look at how good I am. I'm making the catches. You didn't bring Keenan Allen back? Good. Your boy's here. I got you. Like, I'm doing well. I'm doing the things that need to be done. And it's another way of saying, hey, that's fine. Quentin Johnson had a couple drops. I won't. So target me just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And Mike McDaniel's pretty good about making sure that all of his big players, all of his weapons get targets. So I like to hear that. Lastly, let's end with some Akheem Mesidor news. Before we do that, though, I'm going to ask you, who has been the breakout star of Chargers camp? Let us know down below in the comment section. I'm very interested in hearing your opinion here because I think there's a couple different players that it, in theory, could be, and I get why you might think this guy or that guy. And I really am fascinated to hear what you have to say. So let us know down below in our comment section. Akheem Mesidor, man, that guy continues to be a consummate professional. There's a lot of rumors out there right now that Kennard might not be having the best days, might be struggling a little bit, might not be super thrilled with his lot in this team and in this system right now. And I'll tell you what, man, if you are going to move on from him and you're getting a guy who's the first guy out of the building every single day, taking extra long to warm up, being a true consummate professional, going in, making big plays every single day, I'm cool with that. Akheem Mesidor has been everything that he was advertised to be. I love where he's at so far on this team and in this defense, and I just think that the Chargers got a great one. I got to see him in person, and maybe I'm smitten with him. Maybe I'm in love. It was love at first sight. Like, oh, my God, that guy just is destroying all the other offensive tackles. Maybe that's what it is. Like, I watched the Cotton Bowl game, and I just went, oh, my goodness, Akheem Mesidor, like, that guy's going to be a hellraiser for years. That's fine. He's awesome. He's going to be so awesome for Los Angeles. He's going to be the perfect replacement for Khalil Mack, whether it's at the end of this year or, in the future. Hopefully it's a couple years in the future. But I just think you got three legit guys between Thule, Mack, and Mesidor. And then hopefully a couple other guys can come along as well. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. We're going to have a lot more of our regular scheduled programming tomorrow. Very excited to get back into the nitty-gritty around the Los Angeles Chargers. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Cannot wait to see you next time. And as always, bolt the freak up.